Kevin Durant said to Bleacher Report is so bat bleep that I have to address it. Because what's going on inside his brain, Kyrie's brain, and that organization is so manic and so out of touch, it's really something. It's really, really something. Kevin Durant sat down with Bleacher Report, Chris Haynes. And on the criticism that the Nets aren't winning ball games right now, and of course just got throttled by the Sacramento Kings the other day, one of the worst teams in basketball, KD said, quote, well, look at our starting lineup. Edmund Sumner, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Nick Claxton. It's not disrespect, but what are you expecting from that group? You expect us to win because I'm out there? So if you're watching from that lens, you're expecting us to play well because number 7 is out there. Are you unhappy? KD said, quote, I'm having a good time. I wish y'all could hear me talk during the game. If I got mic'd up more, people would stop asking me if I'm happy or not. I'm enjoying every moment that I get to step on this bleeping court. Part of it's because I tore my Achilles and the pandemic. I didn't know if we were ever going to play again. I didn't know if I would play again. I really enjoy every single moment. That's part of being a pro. I have to be coachable. I have to knock down shots. I have to be aggressive. I have to talk to my teammates the right way. That's the journey and the battle. When asked whether it was difficult to request a trade in the offseason, he said, not at all, because it was about ball. I went to them and was like, yo, I don't like how we're preparing. I don't like shoot-arounds. I like practices. I need more. I want to work on more stuff. Hold me accountable. Get on my ass in film if that's going to help you get on everybody else's head. I want you to do more closeouts. I want to work on more shell drills in practice. This was the type of bleep I was coming at them with. I wasn't like, yo, y'all need to make sure everybody around me can make my life easier. Hell nah. I want to make everybody else's life easier. Ask Steve Nash. You can go call him right now. I would say, yo, I need more closeout drills. We need to practice more. That's what I was on. I wasn't feeling that, and nobody was on the same vibe with me. Jacques Vaughn is. I had some complaints in the summer. My complaints were not just about me. It was about how we were moving as a unit. I want us to be respected out here in the basketball world. I don't want players to look at us and say, oh, man, those bleeps are full of bleep. They're just not the type of team I want to be on. So when we're all playing like bleep, you know the one person they're going to look at. That's why I requested a trade. This is with Chris Haynes from Bleacher Report. And this rationale is so roundabout, circular, delusional insanity that I said we have to talk about this because it is so symbolic of what is going on in Brooklyn. Here is Kevin Durant saying, I want to be somewhere where we're moving in the right direction. I want to be somewhere where they're challenging me. I want to be somewhere where they're working on me harder than they're working on me here. And here he is acting as though a leader and then pointing out every player on his roster that sucks by name and saying they suck. Now, imagine living in a world where you think you're doing all the right things. I'm coachable. I've got to be coachable. I'm working hard. I got to work hard. I'm demanding more from the people around me. And then listing by name all the guys that you think suck. Imagine. Also, imagine pointing out all the guys on the roster that you say suck without understanding the roster's been built to your whim from the moment you got there. you decided to sign with that team. And you decided to bring Kyrie with you. You decided this was your tandem, your duo. And then you looked around and said, we need more. We got to have more. We got to get James Harden. So they package a bunch of guys for James Harden, and they acquire James Harden for you, for your whim. And then you decide, I don't like this guy. He's got to be out. So they get rid of him. Now, he's untradeable once you've acquired him. So you have to now take back Ben Simmons. And everybody with the Nets hates Ben Simmons right now. So you are left with the void, the hole, the crater you created because you wanted Harden and none of the other guys. That hole, that void can't be filled because he was untradeable unless you took back Ben Simmons' contract, who is now a disaster. This light roster around you is all you're doing. That's all of your hand. And now you are saying, well, what do you expect us to do? Also, imagine saying, I wanted to be somewhere where they challenge me more because I know I've got to be coachable. And having hitched your wagon to Kyrie Irving. In the offseason, Kevin Durant didn't go to management and say, trade Kyrie or I'm out of here. He said, fire Steve Nash or I'm out of here. He said, fire Sean Marks or I'm out of here. So Kevin Durant in his head, if he's truthful, and who knows if he is, in his head, he thinks that Kyrie Irving's not part of the problem. That it was more to do with not doing enough shell drills. This inception-like logic from Kevin Durant is so distorted. It is so maniacal. It is so bizarre. And if you ever wondered why this just can't work, it won't work. It could never work. It's because your pillars are those two brains. That Kyrie and Kevin Durant actually have no idea what their actions lead to. They're narcissists. They're delusional. They're complete. They have a blind spot in all of their own actions. They don't understand that they've created this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Steve Nash was Phil Jackson. Maybe they should have done more shell drills. Maybe they should have gotten on Kevin Durant more with film study. But Kevin Durant tried to get them fired. Does that breed a ground or an environment where your coaches feel like they should push you more? Does that sound like a place where your coaches would be comfortable getting on you in the film room, getting on you in practice, pushing you more? Does that feel like you would be looking for that? Because all of your actions suggest you're not looking for that. I'll tell you a place where you were pushed. I'll tell you a place where you were coached hard. I'll tell you a place where they didn't mess around. Golden State. And you wanted out. And you chose out. And the final season there, you sulked your way through the year until you got out. And now suddenly Kevin Durant is like, man, I wanted to be coached more. I want to be respected. I want the league to see the team that I'm on and respect them. You were on that team. You were with that coach. You were with that roster. And the final year there, you bickered and sulked and shot your way out of town and then willingly left. And when you got to Brooklyn, you and Kyrie were there together. And you have poured the gasoline. And Kyrie has lit the flame. And you've wanted people fired. And you've wanted people traded. And you've demanded your way. And now here you are, as it all burns around you, saying, where's the fire trucks? Why is anybody putting out this fire? I'm just not around people that know how to put out fires. Thinking that it was somebody else's fault? It is so remarkable. It's so remarkable, I can't even be mad at it because it's some type of delusion I can't even relate to. Kevin Durant thinks he's a leader and by name pointed out to teammates that he thinks sucks. By name. I've used this phrase a lot over the last couple of weeks because I think that it definitely resonates. As Mraz once said, whose fault is that? All of this is his fault. All of it. Kevin Durant dictates everything. And here he is saying, none of this is my fault. I don't even know, Mraz, how you could wear a Brooklyn Nets jersey, wear a hoodie, or watch a game because they're so crazy. These two guys are so crazy.
Well, first of all, as the great Christmas vacation, worse? How could it possibly get any worse? We're at the threshold of hell, Ellen.
Whose fault is that?
This is so hard now. I've sat here and I've tried to stand for this team. It's sucking the life of liking basketball out of me. It is becoming so fourth burner that doesn't have that ultra thing on the oven right now for me because it's just, how could it happen? How could you sit here? I mean, if the team you put together with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving can't find a way to get itself together and win a title and just actually go the opposite way, be a laughingstock, what really is the hope in me rooting for my NBA franchise that's never won a final? Like, it's just a joke. It's an unwatchable joke. And by the way, when they were watchable was like last week, right when Kyrie got suspended, when Edmund Sumner and Royce O'Neal were hitting shots, and it was a lot of fun. The same guys that Durant just dragged. I mean, they traded away guys who are now making all-star teams for other teams for James Harden. Whose fault is that? I don't know. How could you? I mean, D.A., look, I'm a Giants fan. They're playing so well, right? I made the Ranger thing going on. You know, the Yankees want to play. How could I look at the Nets? They're like, I don't know. They're like the worst kid you could have living in your house.
They're the worst. They're the worst. They're the absolute worst.
It sucks. Wake me up in April and let me know if they figured out anything and the playoffs are like a possibility.
Could you even root for them then?
You always root for the laundry because it's in your blood, but to go out of your way and root for them in November, December, January, and carve out 3 hours every night to watch them, that's a tough ask now.
It's amazing that Kevin Durant created his most poisoned reality. This is his most poisoned reality. He got to pick everything, and it's burning around him, and it's in flames, and they're getting humiliated by the Sacramento Kings on national TV. They are a complete laughingstock.